going to look at the Packers straight away. I mean, they've brought in Aaron Banks, Nate Hobbs, McCole Hardman, Isaiah Simmons, have lost Jair Alexander there, Eric Stokes, Eric Wilson. Obviously had a draft as well, drafting Matthew Golden in the first round with 23rd pick. First time they've picked a wide receiver in too many years. Enough years where Packers
2002.
2002. Okay, quick maths.
23.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It is right. And we're it was the fact I went, it sounds about right, but through the end, guy. Yeah, Matthew Golden being the marquee guy. Obviously, you got Anthony Belton, the tackle in the second round. I'm not going to go through the whole draft because I'm sure it'll come up. But yeah, a bit of a yo-yo off-season for the Packers, Sky. Like you said, more of the teams around them getting the worse than them getting dramatically better. A lot of people criticise the Aaron Banks contract being a little bit of a bigger contract for what he's worth, but it isn't the guard position, so a position that they have needed to work on. Losing Jair Alexander, I think it's too far to say a legend of Green Bay, but been a good player for Green Bay for a while. Yeah. It's just been a bit. It's just been
very Packers.
It's not been fun this off-season.
Yeah. I think the Packers, like, they're not known for splashy things, and taking the wide out after 23 years was like, wow, look at us. Let's add another young receiver, and surely one of them will break out. I mean, on the Patriots, it's fine, but on the Packers, when you're actually, I mean, you have to say off the bat that last season they did play like one of the best teams in the league for most of the season. I think obviously when I was saying about teams that got worse, they got swept by the Lions and Vikings last year, but those are two teams that have regressed for different reasons. So I think that the positive for the Packers there is, even though they've got a tough schedule elsewhere, the division's got slightly weaker, but probably still maybe one of, if not the strongest throughout the whole league. I guess there was 23 drop passes when I was diving into things last year. So obviously if that gets cleaned up, well, then you'd say Packers offense is going to be even more efficient. I'd love to know Adam's thoughts on the new DC, because people, I keep reading things like, is it the guy from Boston College?
Is this the new DC that was there last year?
Was he there last year? Oh, there you go. Oh, good for him then. There we go. It's episode 1.
That's how much people cared last year when he was hired. So it was everyone.
I don't know what. So there we go. But yeah, well, the thing I was going to say was at least both units were good. I was going to say he was coming into 2 good units, but he's built the units. There you go. I think the one thing I did know about Hadley, apart from knowing that he was there last year, which has obviously clearly come through with the young guys, the Packers got a good young team, is he was known for being a good recruiter when he was at Ohio State. So he clearly has the buy-in of young personnel. And as the Packers seem to be a team that just keeps getting younger and making a few additions here and there, they should be in for a good season. But off the bat, guys, I'm just going to go bold off the bat. I feel like the Bears are the team who's going to push the Packers the closest.
Okay.
Adam's laughing. We'll get to it, but I'm just saying that. I think the Packers are most people's favourites, but I think this is going to be... You don't think the Packers are the favourites in the division?
No.
What? Are you an idiot or something? I mean... What do you mean the Packers are the favourite for the division? I think the Lions went 15-2.
No, they've lost both their coordinators.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yeah. Can I just quickly say he did call it? He did call. First of all, he didn't realise that the defensive coordinator was there last year. Secondly, he called him Hadley when his name is Jeff Hafley. But aside from that,
summer has not been good to you.
No, so it's going well.
No, it's not. We won't go into that. No, but the Lions have lost both of their coordinators, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they've... I mean, I could deep dive into it. I don't think they've particularly, strong the guys that they've got in. It just, to me, has the feel of... I'm not saying they're not a playoff team, but when the Eagles had their Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs, and then they changed their coordinators and they dropped off, I feel like we're going into that territory.
I think that's an interesting thing we'll start talking about probably when let's wrap up all the division and maybe deep dive into that, look at records and where we think they'll sit. But moving on to Anne, the question I've got is you were saying, Sky, about the drop passes. I've sort of compared a little bit the Packers wide receiver room being a little bit like Arsenal last few years. You've not got that number one guy, but you've got a lot of attacking options. It's sort of where do we look, because we've got guys in all different positions that can score goals and can push forward. And it's the same with your wide receiver room with the guys you've got in there. They've got a lot of guys who can score touchdowns, can go get the ball, are fast, physical. You've got different styles. It's good. I mean, Arsenal this year gone and bought Gyökeres, and it's going to be their talisman. You then go draft Matthew Golden. Can Matthew Golden be the Gyökeres of Green Bay, I suppose? But do you think that's going to be more of the same with Green Bay in 2025? It is going to be a spread out thing. It is, we can attack you from all different parts. Josh Jacobs in the backfield, of course, one of the best running backs in the league by my standards, I think. But what's your say on that?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. I don't know if I'd call Matthew Golden the Gyökeres of Green Bay, but you never know. It could happen. It could happen. I think that's kind of the theory, isn't it? It's almost like the sum of all parts is greater than having one star man. So I think that's what they're looking to achieve. Obviously, they're going to have to stop dropping the ball. That would be nice. So that's definitely one thing that they need to improve on. They were fifth in the league, as as Sky said. It was for most drops. It's something that needs to happen. And look, I mean, they're still a very young team, and I think that'll just. It's going to be the same again. It is kind of almost a case of not a great deal has changed, which makes you feel that they're suddenly going to be amazing this year. But if you look at statistically, they pretty much came out top 10 when it came to the offense and the defense on both parts of both sides of the ball. So there wasn't really much to change anyway. I think the problem is that they lost 5 out of the 6 games in division. But a lot of them games were very close. And it just so happened that they sort of struggled to get over the line in them. So that's the issue. When you look at the other teams, there is an element of that you do feel the two that were at the top will sort of come back a little bit, and maybe that's enough to stop it from becoming an 11-6 for the Packers, but like a 13-4 or something like that. So the only thing I would say is that it's a very, very tough schedule. That's the one thing that all the NFC North teams have got, where they're having to play the AFC North, which is all of them bar the Browns are going to be difficult. It's.
You got the East as well.
NFC East. So it is a tough schedule, and they're going up against some really good teams. So I
you got an early bye as well. Early bye.
Yeah, bye in the 5th week.
Bye week 5 as well. I hate that.
So that's tough as well, because it's one of them things where you sort of feel like when it comes to the season, it takes a couple of weeks to get going. So the idea of it being a couple of weeks to get going, maybe if you can get in a rhythm, when actually going through the schedule, I've personally felt that them first 4 games were very winnable for the Packers. And it's actually a lot harder further back in the schedule. So the idea that you would be on a good run and then you have to take a week off is not particularly great. So I think it's going to be a tough season for them. I really do. I think if they can do 11-6 again, I think they've done pretty well.
Yeah, I'd echo that sentiment as well. I think one of the big things is we're not going to be able to change about your quarterback, Jordan Love, he is a good slinger. He is a gunslinger. That is sort of what he does. And hopefully he can stay more fit this year. Obviously, he got injured in that first game against the Eagles in Brazil and missed 2 games with Malik Willis, and then never really came back properly, I don't think, throughout the season, and played a bit of hero ball. And hopefully he can be a little bit more controlled and a little bit more systematic. And the drops don't help from the wide receivers, but is there elements of that? Was that Love? Was it the receivers? That can be a toss-up in the air, an argument on any given day. So it would be good to see him go back to sort of the benchmark that he set himself before he got his big contract, before the 2024 season, when he was more, in 2023, when he looked like he was really sort of, his trajectory was really going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the injuries were an issue, and he got injured again. I think it was against Jacksonville last year. He got injured again, and he never, especially after that, he never really looked the same. And I think that is a big problem. And obviously, hopefully he has a season where he is fully fit, because I think that we've definitely seen that he's capable. It's just about him actually having a decent season without picking up an injury. And I think that's probably why they've invested so much in the O-line again. You know, the likes of Aaron Banks. It's not, to me, it's not necessarily the greatest player to bring in, but I think it's about just constantly investing in the O-line, constantly investing in the run game, so that you can give a lot off to Josh Jacobs, so that Jordan Love doesn't have to do everything. So yeah, I think that's probably the theory that they've been going for here.